Everyone who put in a photo and entry in here, and just everyone who came out. What a great community event. So we're going to go ahead and open this up with the placing of the flag by the Maple Ridge Service Unit 524. Thank you, girls. After that, they will lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please rise, your hats, and place your right hand over your heart for the presentation. Color guard, attention. Color guard, advance. Color guard, post the colors. We will now sing the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Color guard dismissed.
Thank you, ladies. At this time, I'd like to open up with prayer from Pastor Jake McKenzie of the First United Methodist.
If you would, bow your heads. Heavenly Father, on this momentous occasion of Willard's 150th celebration, we come together with hearts full of gratitude and hope. We thank you for the rich history and countless blessings that have been shaped this community over the years. We ask for your continued blessings upon Willard and its people. May your presence guide our city in the years ahead, filling it with peace, prosperity, and harmony. As we reflect on our past and look to our future, grant us wisdom and unity to build a city that thrives on compassion, integrity, and mutual respect. Bless the leaders and the citizens of Willard as they work together to foster growth and innovation. May our endeavors be guided by your grace, and may our collective efforts create a vibrant, inclusive community where everyone can flourish. Help us to honor the legacy of those who came before us by investing in a future that upholds the values of kindness, justice, and love. May the spirit of celebration today inspire us to continue striving for the greater good of our city and its future generations. We offer this prayer with a heart full of hope and a spirit of dedication, trusting in your enduring guidance and care. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Please welcome the Willard High School Choir for the national anthem under the director, Randy Wilson.
Can you see by the dawn's got a mic share.
Please welcome Margot Barnett from the Willard Area Historical Society with a brief history of Willard.
Get on, put on some mail.
Thank you for having me here this evening. It's really an honor for me to be able to give you some of the history of our wonderful city. So I'm going to do it a little bit year by year, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of things left out. I'm kind of hitting some highlights. So here we go. 1872. 1872. The area was known as New Haven Township and Richmond Township. It was still a lot of unsettled forests and marshland. The B&O Railroad decided at that time that they were really interested in the area. They went ahead and they purchased railroad lines from Newark, Sandusky, and Mansfield. The B&O wanted a line that would run north and south. In 1872, they purchased the farm of Benjamin Odell in New Haven Township, and a roundhouse was built on that farm. And in 1874, the B&O began their train service, thus Chicago Junction was born. It ran from here to Deschler and on to Chicago, Illinois. Walter B. Keever was a yard clerk for the railroad, but R.G. Richards, another prominent man in town, circulated a petition for Mr. Keeper to be postmaster for Chicago Junction. Mr. Keeper would only do it if the village would use the address of Chicago, Ohio. Mr. Keeper got his way, and the village was known as Chicago. Two of the better-known landowners were R.G. Richards and William Matson. Town lots were plotted out and sold. Streets were named Central, Matson, Spring Street, Washington, Hayes, Elizabeth, and St. Mary's Street. Mr. Matson was even so excited about our village that he planned a town square, and that was what we now call Spring Court. All these streets were on the east side of town because of their relationship to the tracks. Woodland Avenue was south of these streets and ran west to Main Street. Many railroad workers would walk across the B&O Commons to go to work in the roundhouse and the different workshops that were there for the railroad. In 1882, the town continued to grow and had 700 residents. The name was legally changed to Chicago Junction. The town had a depot, restaurants, hotels, boarding houses, and the railroad built a YMCA. And the YMCA had a park, and in the park they had a little lake and a swimming area, and they had a baseball field. In 1887, Central School was built between Pearl Street and Maple Street. Springbrook Park was in full swing with a bowling alley, merry-go-round, motor dorm, canoeing, and food booths. And this was all of, I believe it was northeast of Keeper Street. 1900 growth continues south, adding Tiffin Street. Chicago Junction had a bank, hardware store, churches, grocery stores, and 22 barbers. 1915, Blaine Hospital was operated by Dr. Harry G. Blaine. It was on Dale Avenue and run as a private business. It had hot and cold running water, electric, 2 operating rooms, a call system, x-ray, equipment, and an ambulance service. Pretty much for 1950. It became public in 1925. 1916, the Federation of Women's Clubs were responsible for improvements to the Willard Public Library. Chicago Junction had established the library in 1883. In 1917, since the naming of Chicago Junction, had been there was so much confusion with the mail and packages and passengers coming into Chicago Junction, thinking that they were in Chicago, Illinois. I'm not sure how they could think that, but that was a problem. Enough was enough, and a petition was started to change the name of Chicago Junction. That petition passed, and it was decided to change the name to Willard, after Daniel Willard, the president of the B&O Railroad. In 1920, significant changes took place in the growth and economy of Willard. Pioneer Rubber Company bought the windmill factory on Tiffin Street and established a factory that made balloons, footballs, and rubber gloves. People from Holland were successful in transforming the marshland south of town into farms that grew celery, carrots, onions, and trucking these vegetables all around the country. Thus we have Celeryville. 1924 was Willard's Golden Jubilee, a budget of $2,000, Bryson. Financed, and the town celebrated with bands, a midway parade, air show, historical artifacts, and 15,000 people helped celebrate this jubilee. In the 1930s, Willard had a park with a swimming pool, a new post office building, a water and sewer system, and these were provided with help from the WPA, which was a government program to help people have employment and to improve communities. In 1940s, during World War II, Willard supported the war effort, not only with many of its young people, but with women going to work in place of its men who had left to go to war. The women of the town provided food and baked goods to give to the troops as they passed through on the train. These troops also included prisoners of war. One train full of troops arrived without any food available at all. And one woman, Mrs. Constance Nowakowski, headed up a drive amongst the townspeople to put food together to feed them. The response was overwhelming, with more than enough food available to feed all of the troops. In 1942, an airport was established by Kenneth Heisler and Lee Wilcox. In 1950, there were 25 planes based there. 1948, Harry Truman campaigned in this town with his daughter Margaret. 1949 was a Diamond Jubilee and was held with 50,000 people attending. Willard started growing more at the end of the 40s, and in 1952, Midwest Industries came to Willard, manufacturing lawnmowers, bicycles, tricycles, and garden equipment. We know it now as Stanley Black & Decker. In 1956, R.R. Donnelly, the nation's largest printer, started in Willard with 13 employees. 5 years later, there were 450 employees. And by 1974, there were 1,000 employees. Today, it is Lakeside Book Company. 1958, with a population of 5,000, Willard became a city, run by a city manager, mayor, and elected consul. 1970, Pioneer Rubber was sold out to Sherwood Medical and eventually totally left Willard altogether. 1977, Pepperidge Farm came to Willard, and we became the goldfish capital of the world. I've lost my place. Totally lost my place. Please excuse me. In 1971, the last Capital Limited came through Willard. And in 2017, the east and westbound humps were closed. In 150 years, Willard has gone through a lot of changes. We are a population of 6,000 plus people from many different countries and states. There are so many more things I could tell you about Willard, but I'm going to close with a quote from Joe Dush's book, The History of Willard. She, referring to Willard, will remember her celebrations, parades, dances, and parties, her joys and sorrows. She will know that these are universal and timeless, and that as all these things have occurred in the past, so will they also occur in the future. She will neither be ashamed of the one nor fearful of the other, and she will believe in things. I hope that this week that you will explore Willard. I know the museum will be open every day, and we have a history of Willard. If you look down the streets, there are pictures in the windows that tell our history. So I hope you will enjoy that and take advantage of it. Willard is a wonderful place. It has been a home to me and my children, and I couldn't be prouder to be part of this city.
Thank you, Margot. That was great. All right, now I have the privilege of introducing some people. We've had some citizens. We have a lot of great citizens, but we wanted to focus on a couple and give them a award. So we have 3 Sesquicentennial Star Citizen recognitions this evening. And the first being Maxine Robinson. Many of you guys will know her as Mrs. Robinson. I know her from kindergarten. Hopefully I didn't get spanked, probably did, but she taught in the Willard schools for over 48 years from 1951 to 1999. That's amazing itself. She has taught children and grandchildren and even probably grandchildren of grandchildren. So she helped started the Grace preschool in 2000 and worked there until 2010. So without further ado, we'd like to recognize Maxine Robinson as a Sesquicentennial Star Citizen. On behalf of Maxine, her daughters are accepting this award, and understandably, it got a little hot, so she went home. So we definitely thanks everything that Mrs. Robinson has done in the Willard community. Thank you. Our next star citizen is going to be introduced by Mr. Jack Kuzma.
Thanks, Bryson. It's my privilege to introduce a friend of mine that I've known for about 37 years, and he's a gentleman, and I mean he's a gentleman. And that is Ben Kiefer. Ben has been a Willard area native all his life and a city resident for 14 years. He's known by many as a faithful servant at the Christian Alliance Church, and also a volunteer for Second Harvest Food Distributions. Ben married Gert Leek in August of 1952, and they will celebrate 72 years of marriage this month. Ben served in the United States Army during the Korean War in the early 1950s and is very proud to have served his country. And I might mention that in 1953, he attended the coronation of Queen Elizabeth. Last fall, he was a member of the honor flight to Washington, D.C., where he visited all memorials. Through the years, he was a farmer in rural Willard and worked for a propane company out in North Fairfield. He's a father to 2 daughters. Connie is married to Mike Hustis, and Candy is married to Bart McKelvey. He and Gert have 6 grandchildren and 7 great-grandchildren. After retiring from farming and his job, Ben and Gert moved into the city of Willard in 2010 and have been proud to call Willard home. Rekindling a childhood pastime, Ben's always on the lookout for marbles and has amassed a collection of over 50,000. He also loves to hunt garage sales for metal toys, turning a milestone of 95 years on June 12th of this year. Ben still mows his yard and helps his neighbors and can frequently be found working at the church or talking with friends at McDonald's over coffee. He's an inspiration to all of us to wake up each morning and find ways to be active and involved no matter your age. Ben attributes his longevity to the good Lord watching over him and serving others as much as possible. Join me in welcoming Ben Kiefer.
Ben just told me there's only 1 in 10,000 that reaches the age of 95. Out of that too, I would put Ben up against any other 95-year-old in a wrestling match or arm wrestling. He has the handshake of a 21-year-old. So Ben's definitely active. Thank you very much, Ben. So, our next star citizen is going to be introduced by Kylie Niedermeyer. This one is special to me, co-worker, but also a friend. Many of you guys will know him, definitely an inspiration. So Kylie, I'll let you comment before I start crying. So.
When Susan McCowan approached me to nominate this next Star Citizen, I was only too eager to get involved. Not only is this Star Citizen my mom's cousin, he's also a lifelong friend of my father, and I've known him for all 33 years of my life. When we started this process, we talked to his children. His son said there is no way that Dad is going to agree to any of this, and his daughter pretty much said the same thing. According to Susan, she did talk to him and get permission for this. So if that is not the case, Rob, please, it's Susan's fault, not mine, okay? The following is the letter that we submitted in nomination for this Star Citizen. We feel that Robert Edward Cavello's continued service to Willard and its residents, as well as his inspirational story of survival, make him an honorable representative of our city, especially as we celebrate 150 years of history. Rob's own history is in Willard. He was born here, raised here, and has spent the 62 years of his life not only building his own life, but building our city in the process. He was hired by the city in 1995, became assistant Main Supervisor in 2016, and Main Supervisor in 2023. Rob has been involved in the completion of countless city projects, including the Willard High School football field, the Doster Plaza and Stage, Willard City Schools, and the Willard Clock Tower. He is currently working on the new sign on 224 to welcome people to our city. Rob has undoubtedly left a brick and mortar mark on Willard, but his inspirational mark has made an even greater impact. In 2022, after over 15 years working with fireworks in our community and the surrounding areas, and as a trained professional pyrotechnician, Rob was the victim of an unimaginable accident. This accident left Rob in critical condition with his survival completely uncertain. If Rob was able to make it, It would mean years of rehabilitation, many surgeries, and immense pain and struggle. Most people would have given up. Most people would have stopped fighting, but not Rob. Not only did Rob survive, he faced his rehabilitation, recovery, and 30-plus surgeries with strength and determination. Even through all of this, Rob's dedication to Willard and his unwavering work ethic was evident. Much to the dismay of his children, Holly and Lawrence, Rob refused to sit idle, even through his recovery. Holly recalled that even with a feeding tube and trach, Rob refused to stop working. When he couldn't yet return to work for our city, he decided to put himself to work in his own home. A small project, of course, was not enough for Rob. He had to rip off and rebuild his entire front porch. Rebuilding the physical surroundings of his life and working with his doctors to rebuild his body were not the most inspirational changes that Rob experienced and faced with courage. Rob is also an inspiration for others to rebuild spiritually. Rob took this experience and instead of hiding away or giving up hope, he fought for his life. He lives his life as if every day is not only a gift, but a gift to be shared with others. And he certainly does, often dropping what he is doing to go out and help someone else in need. Rob is an inspiration to all of us to be workers, to be fighters, and to share our lives and gifts with those around us. Share it with your family, share it with your friends, share it with your community. We feel that Robert E. Covello is the perfect representative of our city and of our history because he is a reminder that we can all face struggles that seem hopeless and continue to live and continue to give. We thank Rob for his willingness to be considered and give all of us in this community a chance to recognize him for all that he has given to us. Respectfully submitted by Susan McCowan and Kylie Niedermeyer. Will you all please join me in a round of applause for our star citizen, Robert Covello.
Rob to do something, he typically says two things. Number one, I already did that, Bryson. Or if I ask him to do something that might be a little challenging, he always says, we aren't scared of anything. Rob and his maintenance crew, fantastic crew. So last month they put this together for the clock tower, and they got a lot more to do, and hung the lights on Myrtle Avenue, put the lights down South Myrtle. Just fantastic crew. Couldn't ask for a better maintenance crew for the city of Willard. So if you guys don't mind, let's just give all the maintenance crew a hand for all their hard work. All right, this time I'd like to honor the Grand Marshal of the Sesquicentennial Parade, Mr. Paul Capel, has been proud to call Willard home since day one. He is a 1951 graduate of Willard High School. After high school, Paul joined the United States Marines in 1952 and had a 22-year career serving his country. During his time in the armed forces, Paul served numerous secret missions, working in 36 different countries as a special warfare electric engineer. His last mission in 1974 was a secret mission in Iran to disrupt their atomic bomb manufacturing. After his service to our country, Paul turned his attention back to his hometown of Willard, as he was hired to be the city manager in 1974. He served 13 years as city manager, retiring in 1987. During his tenure as city manager, he spearheaded the effort to bring Pepperidge Farm Plant to Willard, opening in 1977. Yes, Paul is responsible for all the great smells we wake up to. Paul's effort to bring Pepperidge to Willard has created thousands of good paying jobs that has supported numerous community families throughout the years. As Margot said, Willard is now known as the goldfish capital of the world. At 91 years old, Paul remains active in the Kiwanis, prison ministry, Gideons, and has served as a lay minister in the Methodist Church. Paul and his wife, Lois, will celebrate 69 years of marriage this September. They are the proud parents of 2 adult sons, Peter and Paul. It is my honor to introduce you the Sesquicentennial Grand Marshal, Mr. Paul Capel. At this time, we have our fundraising committee chair, Mr. Don Graham, with some special recognition of our sponsors for the Sesquicentennial Week.
Thank you, Bryson. Very special thank you to all of the committee members that helped to put everything together for this celebration. The work was tireless, and they were all extremely motivated for their community, and it's just beautiful to work with people. As most of you know, I'm an old football coach. I really can appreciate that teamwork, and so a great hand to that committee. If we could right now. Rob Cavello played nose guard for me when I was a coach here, and I would attest to the fact that he was the toughest kid that I ever coached, and he proved that even that he was tougher after what happened to him. So congratulations to Rob, congratulations to the other honorees here too, Paul and Ben. It's great to see you receive those awards then. And so I would like to recognize the sponsors for this event. That when we first had this as an idea that we were going to put this celebration on, Bryson really wondered whether we could raise the money to pull off a celebration that was going to be worthy of the honor of this community. And so he worked tirelessly, and these sponsors really stepped up. And we've raised well over $100,000 for this endeavor. So give all those sponsors a hand, and I'll mention the $10,000, the Willard Moose gave that much. My business behind me gave $10,000 also. The Willard United Fund and the Sutton Bank. And so those were the $10,000 donors. The $5,000 donors, Fisher Titus, Secor Funeral Home, Pepperidge Farm, Mercy Health, Lakeside Books, Van Allen Agency, and Sharpnack Shipping Network. $2,500 was Kuzma Builders, State Farm, and then also Schaefer Danhoff, the dealership. $1,000 Ace Hardware, Domino's, Country Hearth, the Kiwanis, Shodorf Plumbing and Directions, Stanley Black & Decker, Chavista and Directions, Star of the West, Christian Alliance Church, and the Willard Fire and Rescue Department, and Tom and Joni Secor, privately, and Babcock Excavating, and Mayor Joe Daniel, and the Willard Area Historical Society. Give all of those donors a great round of applause for they enable us to pull this off.
Thank you, Don. It's amazing really what we're going to be able to offer later this week. There's some people in Norwalk referring to it as the Mega Fest. So come on out. We got a lot of activities planned for this week. At this time, it's my privilege, and he's been patient, willing to come down here, is U.S. Representative Congress Bob Latta, representing Willard in the Ohio District. Thank you, Mr. Latta.
Thank you very much for allowing me to be with you all today. It's a great parade. You're walking through town. It was a cool 91 degrees. So we got a nice cool evening going on. But first, I always like to thank the band and also for the chorus that sang a little earlier. I know that they get hot. We had two daughters, one that played the clarinet and the other played the bass drum. The bass drum player was only 5'1". I'm not sure how that worked out, but she did it. But you all did a great job, so congratulations. And for all of the citizens that have been honored today, you know, just listening to this is what makes this community such a great place to live and work and raise your family. It's the dedication of people that have put their life and their souls right here in the community, and you should be proud of them. So congratulations to them. Willard always had a place in our family's heart, because when the B&O would pick Dad up on a Sunday night and there used to be a flag stop, you'd have to stop the train in Bowling Green. That was when the old station had closed. He had a lantern that he would wave and it'd stop, but then he'd have to change trains then in Willard to keep going on from there. So it was always a great memory about Willard. Also, I'm also privileged because what I get to do is go through so many businesses and factories and schools. But talking about Pepperidge Farms, I know the first trip I made over there, I remember talking to some of the ladies there. I said, "How do you leave this place?" And it smells so great. They said, "What smell?" So I guess if you work there long enough, you don't smell anymore. Went over to the old, it was MTD at the time, but I walked in and went, "Oh, that's our snow blower." And so right in our own backyard, equipment that we have our own yard that we use for blowing snow in the winter, that's right here in Willard. But what I do have is a congressional CR honoring Willard on its 150th anniversary. What a feat. It's a great history to hearing it again being told. With American Forward, I'd like to present him with the congressional record statement.
It's not that bad. I should fly next to me.
The badge or the button for this year's Sesquicentennial. And right over here is the one from 50 years ago that was in the vault. And so there was several left over. So you have one of each. Congratulations to you.
And I will display those in my office in Washington. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. We've got several other representatives that could not make it here. We thank Congressman for showing up. We have a couple of proclamations from Governor DeWine, Senator Sherrod Brown, and Senator J.D. Vance that Mayor Joe Daniel is going to present.
Thank you very much. Start with the first one from our Governor, Mike DeWine, as well as John Houston. In the name and by the authority of the state of Ohio, whereas originally founded as a Chicago Junction in 1874 and later becoming known as Chicago Junction, Willard will celebrate its sesquicentennial anniversary in 2024. And whereas named in honor of Baltimore and Ohio Railroad President Daniel Willard, Willard, Ohio is located in the heart of Midwest manufacturing region. And whereas as a community, Willard will mark this momentous anniversary by adopting the theme of proud past and brighter future. And whereas memorable events will include a parade, community dinner, and numerous band performances. And whereas the celebration will also include a car show, Hoop Fest basketball tournament, high flying pages, aerial thrill show, and hot air balloon rides. And whereas the weekend-long celebration will conclude with a diamond reel concert and fireworks show on Saturday, August the 10th. Now therefore we, Mike DeWine and John Houston, Governor and Lieutenant Governor of the state of Ohio, do hereby recognize the 150th anniversary of Willard, Ohio. On this 4th day of August 2024, signed Mike DeWine, Governor, and John Houston, Lieutenant Governor. Next, we have a certificate of recognition presented to the city of Willard. Congratulations as you celebrate the Sesquicentennial anniversary of the city of Willard. Enjoy this week of celebration and community. Thank you to everyone whose hard work made this celebration possible. Signed on August the 4th, 2024, Sherrod Brown, United States Senator. And the final proclamation is from the United States Senate as well. Senator J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio does hereby recognize the city of Willard. I am proud to recognize the 150th anniversary of the city of Willard. Anniversary is an occasion to honor the city of Willard's traditions, values, and achievements. The legacy of Willard is not solely defined by its age, but by the remarkable people who call it home. As you commemorate this significant milestone, I encourage each and every resident to take pride in the unique heritage that makes Willard such a special place to live, to work, and to raise a family. Congratulations on celebrating this momentous occasion, and best wishes for many more years of continued success. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand on this 4th day of August in the year 2024, signed J.D. Vance, United States. These are all very special.
All right, next we have a proclamation from CSX. We're here today because they decided, hey, what a better place to start a train station. David Williams, CSX Mechanical Superintendent.
I was almost late. That train only goes 5 miles an hour. The mighty testing was a pretty amazing machine, handcrafted by our employees there in Waycross. So it's what a pleasure and honor to have that here, representing Willard today. Today I have the privilege and honor of reading a proclamation from our CEO, Joe Hendricks. Whereas 150 years ago, in 1874, the new town's purpose was to provide a community of Baltimore and Ohio Railroad employees and various support people that would make a living there a pleasant experience. The new town was named Chicago, Ohio. The first buildings erected were an engine house, a machine shop, and a blacksmith. At that time, there were about 60 men who worked there. The following year, the first of several depots were built. That depot also included a small hotel. Whereas when the town was incorporated in 1882, it had a population of 800. The new town officially became Chicago Junction to help ease with the confusion between Chicago, Illinois and Chicago, Ohio. But that confusion was only mildly relieved. Whereas, in the train depots along the lines passing through Chicago Junction, Ohio, station attendants would shorten the town's name to just Chicago O. Passengers would frequently mistake the destination for the much larger metropolitan city of Chicago, Illinois. By the turn of the century, rail traffic had grown tremendously, including mail service. The duplicate Chicagos had to be eliminated. Since Chicago Junction was smaller, its name was changed. Whereas in 1917, the new name was changed to Willard to honor Daniel Willard, the president of the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad. Whereas in 1960, Willard officially became a city. Whereas Willard, Ohio, Huron County, was founded by railroad forefathers and remains a large railroad community today. Now, therefore, I, Joe Hendricks, CEO of CSX, do hereby recognize the 150th anniversary of Willard, Ohio, and proclaim that the year 2024 is recognized as their Sesquicentennial celebration. In testimony whereof, I am hereunto set my hand on this 4th day of August 2024, Joseph R. Heinrichs, CEO of CSX. Thank you.
How many of you guys enjoyed the Mighty Chessie? That was awesome. The CSX spent a lot of money to bring that in. It was in Charlotte last weekend, and they brought it in 2 semis and brought a whole crew. So thanks for CSX. That was definitely special and memorable. So next is, once again, is our fabulous Willard High School Choir with God Bless America.
This is a community sing-along. Please join us.
We've been talking about the parade. Let's give some winners. So coming up is Mary Halliday, the parade chair. What a great parade. I think people will be remembering this one for a while. So great job, everyone who helped out. You know, with Mary and her crew, we also had Kim Ellinger and Mike Ellinger and the ham operators lining up the parade. So great job, everyone. Mary?
Thank you, Bryson. I just want to thank Bryson and the whole parade committee. If you see a few people around here in pink shirts, that's us. So I just wanted to let everyone know how special I thought the parade was. I remember as a 6-year-old, I'm dating myself, so as a 6-year-old child watching the bicentennial parade in 1974 down on Myrtle Avenue, and I had the pleasure to head up the parade committee this year, so I'm really excited about that. But thank you to everyone who's helped with the parade, really appreciate it. We had a really, really tough job picking winners. We had 5 different categories, and it was a big debate. There was so many great entries, so thank you for being a part of that. We had over 110 entries, so it was really tough, but we have come up with some winners for you. If there's anyone representing any of these organizations or companies to accept the prize, please come up and accept the plaques. All right, so first of all, I have our Furthest traveled goes to our mighty Chessie, coming all the way from Georgia. CXX representative is here for that. Our next winner, the category was Willard Pride. That award goes to the Willard Historical Society. Marco Barnett accepting. Our next category was Most Creative. And boy, you guys gave us a run for the money there. Most Creative goes to First Class DJ, Mark Schwinn. The next one was Most Historical. Again, tough job. But the winner is the 21st Century Club. And our last category was Judge's Choice. That was tough, really tough. But we wanted to award that to Stanley Black & Decker. Got somebody coming. Awesome. Thank you again, and I forgot to thank Joe Crawford, our awesome announcer. So thank you again for all your participation and coming out today.
All right, thank you, ladies. I think the real winners was everybody who was able to watch that parade. All right, next we have Kylie Niedermeyer with an announcement of a Sesquicentennial scholarship. Kylie.
As Bryson said, a committee has been formed for the Sesquicentennial Scholarship. The hope of the committee is to present a current or past resident of Willard with our scholarship to aid them in their pursuit to gain knowledge or expand training. The details and specific requirements for this scholarship will be developed by the committee and released to the public early fall. And we hope to select a recipient by the close of the 2024 Sesquicentennial year. Some of you might be thinking, why do we not have it ready now? And the simple reason is everybody on the scholarship committee was also involved in 1, 2, 3, 4 or more other committees to make this week happen. And we want to make sure we dedicate the time and energy to reviewing applications and really give everyone who applies for this scholarship a chance. We would like to stress that this scholarship will be for any resident, past or present, regardless of age or current degree. As a reminder that the pursuit of knowledge is available to anyone at any time if they only seize the opportunity. So please stay tuned for details on the upcoming Sesquicentennial Scholarship.
Thank you, Kylie. Kylie has been a tremendous help with everything. So artwork, just very talented, put in a lot of hours. So thank you, Kylie. So, all right, let's have some fun. We've teamed up with Schaefer Danoff, and we wanted to bring some things back from the years past, and we're bringing back Hoop Fest and some others, but we wanted to bring back the hands-on car contest. So with the prices of cars, we couldn't give away a car, but they agreed to give away a summer lease that will happen next year in 2025 for 4 months. It's real similar to the Jeep Wrangler 4-door behind the food tent there. But some lucky or crazy person is going to win this lease. So the way this worked was anyone had an opportunity for $1 to purchase a ticket. The hard part, starting Wednesday at 5, 15 people will be selected right now, and then at Wednesday, they will put their hands on the car, and the last person to remove their hand wins the lease. We are still looking for judges, especially at night, so if anyone likes to stay up late, I'm already pretty tired, but I guess I'll do it if I have to, but please call me at City Hall if you're a night owl. So with this, for the selection, Courtney Carnahan from the Sesquicentennial Committee.
Okay. This just has initials on it. LP. If you're LP, you can put your hands on a card. I'm a teacher, so I can read crazy handwriting. So I think it says Miguel, because I can't read the last name. I think it starts with O. Miguel O. Okay, we'll have to call Miguel. This is Elizabeth. Don't know her last name. Elizabeth, I won't blast your phone number, but you get a chance. Becky Majors. Irma Lopez. Shane Stumbo. Roberto Cruz. Okay, that's our first 7. Here we go. Dustin Hammonds. Cashmere Dudley. Fernando. 5 more. Diana Sack. Multiple entries in here, so I'm picking the ones that are already. Lila Salsay. Okay, there's our first 15 to put their hands on the car. Congratulations.
All right, we'll be in contact with you guys, and everyone else can watch them starting Wednesday at 5. She's got a few closing remarks, and then we can get on to the Dippets and Lisa Beamer Highs. We are all here today because of one common trait, Willard, Ohio. It is where we call home or return to time after time. I actually think the longer you are away, the more you cherish it. We all have memories of Willard, some older than others. It may be cruising Myrtle Avenue and stopping by Lee's Drive-In. Maybe going to the city park. Might be getting a sub from Pizza Shack that sat over there. Going to Palmer's or Brunswick Grill. Fork and Fingers, Chuckawanda's, or Hi-Ho. I'm sure the vivid memories are racing through your head as I speak. These memories are a little different depending on what era you grew up in, but they are all special. As we take time to celebrate this week, I'm sure you will talk about places of the past. All these places are just that, places. They are buildings that will someday no longer be standing, or businesses that will close. Not because we want them to come down or leave, but unfortunately, that is just the reality. A few seconds ago, when you recollected places of your past, hopefully the buildings were just a backdrop to Willard's greatest asset, our people. For the last 150 years, the hardworking people of Willard has given much to our town and are the real reason we cherish our beloved community. Earlier, 4 exceptional citizens were honored. It wasn't because of their accomplishments or the buildings they built, but because of the relationships they constructed. They all have gone out of their way to help others in our community. That is what the great people of Chicago, Chicago Junction, and Willard have been doing for a century and a half. And this is what I encourage you to do today. Be a friend to your neighbor. Introduce yourself to strangers. Put differences aside. Smile. Get involved. Volunteer. And help each other out. There is a group of people here today who have done just that by serving on the Sesquicentennial Committee or signing up to volunteer at an event. If you are one of these people, please raise your hand. A lot of people. So thank you guys very much. Let's give them a round of applause. It is people like these who make Willard great. They are far from selfish, but kind, passionate, and hardworking. They're willing to help others. Kindness, passion, and hard work build great communities. I think we can agree that in the previous 150 years, the people of Willard have done just that. Now, it's our turn. Let's celebrate this week as we start our own legacy for the next generation. At this time, we're going to conclude with the high school band playing the alma mater and then the Willard fight song.